Broken women are unlovable. They rather run to the internet looking for validation from other broken women. You ladies went on this marketing propaganda, wrote countless articles about how men are so lonely because women have options. But what I find kind of interesting is I see so many videos of women crashing the fuck out because they're not in a relationship. They don't have anybody to hang out with. They don't have nobody to talk to. They're turning 30 and they're so alone. I go into the comment section of married couples, and whenever a woman speaks and say, hey, this is what I do for my man, this is how I express love for my man, I go into the comment section and it's nothing but women in the comment section talking about, you're a pick-me, which I think is so fucking stupid. How you gonna call a married woman a pick-me? Bitch, she's picked already. Then it's videos of women talking about, to my married friends, is it possible that you could send your husband over to my place and he could just do some things and you can come over and we could drink wine? I'm like, why don't you get your own man? Then every time a guy who lets it be known he's married posts something on the internet and he is conventionally attractive, go into the comment section. Can your wife fight? Can your girlfriend fight? It's like, you hoes really did try to push this propaganda that it's men who are desperate for relationship. It's men who are the most loneliest demographic. It's not. Y'all the one who's projecting. Y'all the ones who are extremely lonely. The reason why so many dudes don't want to fuck with you, so many dudes don't want you to be a girlfriend, don't want to wife you up, and that the only thing you're good for is a fucking a dump, because a lot of you do not have a personality and you bring absolutely no value to a relationship.
Approaching women now comes with more legal and social liability than most men are willing to absorb. The toxic masculinity label gets thrown at anyone who breathes wrong, and the patriarchy framework pre-convicts men before they've done anything. At some point, the risk-reward stops making sense, and men simply walk away.
Not getting married.
A vast majority of the good women that you want are going to expect marriage.
I can have a long-term girlfriend, stay with her forever, be monogamous, have 7 children with her. What changes?
He essentially wants marriage just without the government contract.
Right.
Why does the government contract scare you so much?
Financial liability. And I don't need the government involved. And I don't need some woke judge telling me how I should distribute my money and how the assets should go. And, oh, my wife cheats on me, and we've been married for 15 years. In California, I have to pay her alimony for her entire life. F the government, f the laws. Marriage is a contract, and I'm a businessman. When I look at what marriage is from a legal perspective, it's a terrible contract. Oh, here's a woman who didn't help you build your business at all, and at any moment she could be cheating on me, or even if there's no cheating, she could just be like, well, I don't like him anymore. Now he has to pay me for the rest of my life X amount of money. That's f***ing retarded.
Women handed men the blueprint themselves. Every oversharing rant and red flag checklist posted online got watched, cataloged, and learned from. Younger men especially grew up on this content and got educated early. The curtain was pulled back voluntarily. Nobody should be surprised by the conclusions men drew.
So there is a growing percentage of men in the United States that have started to consider themselves passport bros. Let's talk about it because a lot of people have asked my opinion on this. As somebody who's coached a lot of men and a lot of women, I will say that if you find love anywhere in the world, I'm happy for you. I really don't care what country it's in. Now, I think the issue is when people think about the passport bros and they think about what it is that they stand for, a lot of people are thinking about the fact that they're going to these other countries, they're only trying to buy women's time. They're talking to women who aren't wholesome, or they're talking to women who are SWs, if you know what I mean by that. I, as a man, can honestly say that if American women said they wanted to go to Italy or to France or to the UK to meet guys, I literally do not care, like at all. I want you to be happy. If they treat you better, go there. So I'll say as a man, if you're going to these other countries to meet women, at the very least, you should be willing to try to learn the language, learn the culture, get to know these women as people, and you're not leveraging your money just to get laid. I think it's really triggering for people to talk about going overseas or dating while you're overseas because everyone gets mad about American men ain't shit, American women ain't shit. And for some people, it's just not that deep. Now, for the guys that want to go to other countries because these women have nothing and you think you can offer them something and they're going to be reliant on you for some sort of green card or, financial whatever, I think you're a weirdo. So I think whatever your definition of a passport bro really is, it could be good, it could be bad, it could be indifferent. But as long as you're not taking advantage of other people, I really don't care what other adults do to find love.
Women have masculinized at an unprecedented rate. Men have explained the problem clearly and repeatedly, and the response every time is denial. The feedback gets rejected because it demands accountability, and that's apparently non-negotiable.
If a man has no friends, pay attention. If a man has no friends or a very small circle, don't get it twisted. That is not a red flag. That's a man who has mastered himself. A man without friends or a very small circle is a very, very secure man. He's learned that quality matters more than quantity, and he doesn't need an audience to validate his worth. His confidence comes from inside, not from the approval of others. He's not afraid to be alone because he knows his own strength. He is very selective with his energy and who he lets into his life. That is a good quality to have. He walks away from drama and gossip because he has built a peaceful life for himself and does not want to let that go. He doesn't need to be surrounded by people to feel complete. He's comfortable, he's grounded, he's steady, and he doesn't waste time on meaningless relationships. He knows that what he wants, and he doesn't waste time with it. So if you come across a man with very few friends or a very small circle, don't underestimate him. That's not loneliness. That is discipline, and he knows peace. It's not isolation. That is self-mastery, and men like that, they're the hardest ones to replace.
Financial sabotage, zero contribution, psychological abuse, and police weaponized as a control tool. That's what commitment looked like for this man. The peace after its ending isn't just relief. It's proof the upgrade was actually a catastrophic downgrade. Why would any rational person sign back up for that?
And I see a very handsome guy, dark hair, mustache, hat, great looking guy. And I'm like, wow, he's really cute. So I test it a little bit and I stare at him and smile, and he smiles back. I'm like, okay. And we lock eyes the whole time at the gym, the entire time at the gym. We're locking eyes. I'm smiling. I'm like, should I talk to him? Like, I'm giving him the cues. He should know that I think he's cute. He's looking at me, I'm looking at him for an hour and a half. Then I'm leaving and he's walking right behind me and he just passes me. I'm like...
Men being told not to speak to female colleagues without women receiving the same instruction isn't a policy, it's a presumption of guilt. One group moves freely while the other navigates an invisible fence. That's not protection, it's institutionalized suspicion with an HR label slapped on it.
I don't like men who approach with money, because that happens too. Men will come up to you.
Oh yeah,
right
what's
off the
up with
bat.
that?
Yeah, like right off the bat, they'll come up to you like, I do this. I got these properties.
I got a yacht. I got a plane.
I got this. And then so you start talking to them, and then it's like crickets. And then when you ask them for something, it's like, oh, all you want is money. You're materialistic.
No, not just that.
You literally approached me with materials.
No, I just don't get why guys approach with money. Like, it's weird to me. Like,
if
why?
they want to do it, fine. But like, fully be expected of a girl ready to like get some of that. To me, that's what I always say. I'm like, I don't care what house, what car you got, any of that stuff, if it's not going to me.
Marriage doesn't even solve loneliness. It just repackages it with legal consequences attached. Commitment gets demanded up front, while reciprocity quietly disappears over time. The men drawing up mental prenuptials aren't being cynical. They're responding rationally to a system that's repeatedly proven untrustworthy.
No, males are not choosing, but
oh, yes, they are.
But I do find it hilarious how they are all like, yeah, we're done with women. That's why we're all single, because we chose to be done with women.
You know, if someone tells you something often enough, maybe you should start believing them because, yeah, a lot of men are just completely done with dating.
You guys didn't choose that. You know you didn't choose that.
Oh, but they did. What exactly is so hard to believe about that?
You know that right now women are becoming really picky and not choosing men that all they do is bring a paycheck.
Like I said before, there's a lot of women that are very upset that a lot of guys are actually choosing to be single because they want all of the power for themselves and to be able to dictate who they date. It is incomprehensible to some that guys actually can choose who to date.
Although there are still women out there who will accept that. And I suggest you go find them and leave us alone.
Oh, I don't think that'll be a problem at all, because it's almost like personality types similar to some that we've just seen are almost the very reasons why a lot of guys are choosing to remain single.
Protective laws get weaponized against innocent men often enough that good faith is no longer a reasonable assumption. Until false accusations carry real consequences, men would be irrational to trust the system. Fix the framework first, then talk about attitudes.
There's a viral video where a couple has been together for 8 years and then they get engaged and the guy goes on a bachelor trip. The guy has his bachelor party at a strip club in Miami and he ends up getting a lap dance from one of the strippers. He tells his fiance it was just a lap dance and that he didn't cheat on her, and she's like, I know you didn't cheat on me, but I'm still breaking up with you. So she calls off the wedding and breaks up with him just over the lap dance. So only a month after they break up, he is in feed posting the stripper saying that she is the love of his life and that they have perfect synergy, etc., etc. It turns out he took the stripper's number after he got a lap dance the night of his bachelor party. A couple of years ago, I actually went on a bachelorette trip to Cabo and we ran into a group of bachelors. The bachelor that was getting married was fully hitting on one of my close girlfriends. And not only that, but his friends who were there also had girlfriends that they were even living with, and they were trying to flirt with me. I told one of the guys that was hitting on me, I was like, hey, I'm basically taken, like, I'm in the process of getting back with my ex, and you have a girlfriend, so you shouldn't be hitting on me in the first place. This man proceeds to tell me that I am his exact type. And not only that, but my friend who was getting hit on by the bachelor that they were celebrating, he was telling her that he found my friend more attractive in terms of, like, she was in school studying to be a doctor and his current fiance just sits at home and leeches off his money. This man was, like, scheduled to be married in a few weeks. I don't know about you, but when I get married, my man is not going to Cabo, Miami, or Vegas for a bachelor party. I'm definitely setting my boundaries when it comes to bachelor parties before I even get engaged.
Men didn't stop approaching out of fear. They stopped because the approach got turned into a humiliation sport. Being used as an ego boost dispenser isn't a dynamic any self-respecting person tolerates forever. The game stopped being played because it was never designed for men to win.
Do you know what the funniest thing about so many men is nowadays? So many men are no longer scared of being single. They're now scared of being in a soul-sucking, detrimental relationship that's only going to waste their time, waste their energy, waste their effort, and waste their money. They would rather be single than be in a bad relationship. So it's not that men are complaining because they're single. Men are complaining because they've just seen everything as such a waste of time for them lately.
The cruelest thing happening to certain women is the total absence of honest feedback. Nobody will tell them their attitude is the actual problem, so they invent an explanation where men are collectively broken. The delusion is comfortable but terminal. Blaming the market never fixed a bad product.
What's going on with women these days? We used to be a lot happier than men, and now we're not. What happened?
What you've found is that over the past 20 years or so, women have converged downward to the unhappiest levels of men. And at first I thought, great, men are getting happier. Women are getting unhappier. That's what we find. And they're getting unhappier very quickly. And so there's a lot of different theories of it. You find that there's a lot less family formation going on. There's a lot less marriage. You find that men and women are diverging politically really, really quickly. You find that women are getting much more politically progressive and men are getting more conservative. And so the result of it is that, especially in a culture where people think that the most important thing for making a romantic match is voting for the same party idiotically, social media is especially targeted at young women. It's creating a whole lot of misery with social comparison, with political hatred, with the sense of loneliness that's crawling out of people's smartphones. And all these things together are creating an epidemic of unhappiness among women, especially young women in our society today.
Work was always a grind. Family made it bearable. Strip that away, and it's just a hamster wheel for someone else's benefit. Social media made it worse by turning materialism into a competition with no finish line. Character means nothing. Flexing is everything. The bar for enough is designed to never be reached.
Do you think most women actually like men?
No, I'm glad that you mentioned that in the book. Another ugly truth that guys need to get through their head. Most women don't like you guys. They just don't. A majority of women do not like a majority of men. However, a majority of men absolutely like a majority of women. And that creates obviously an imbalance. And I would argue that, back to our discussion earlier with feminism, since most women naturally already don't like most men, with technology, women entering the workforce, education, all this other stuff, them being able to provide for themselves essentially in a modernized society where they don't need men, it makes it even worse for men because now they really don't like you and they don't have to deal with you. It used to be a woman would deal with a guy because she wanted to get married, have kids, or whatever. She needed him. So she would be willing to deal with a more average guy. Now they make their own money and everything else like that. Now they really don't need men. They never liked us that much anyway, right? And I want to be clear here because some people might say, oh, Myra, what do you mean? I am being a bit hyperbolic, but what I'm saying is this. It's not that they necessarily hate you guys, but it's you guys are invisible to them.
Men want a partner, not a rehabilitation project. Absorbing dysfunction, playing therapist, and parenting a grown adult while getting nothing back isn't a relationship. It's unpaid labor with emotional damage on top. The standard should be basic equality, and that bar isn't being cleared. Thanks for watching MGTOW Voice. Show us your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome a healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.